Human beings are able to process information using what's called top-down processing or bottom-up processing. Okay, top-down processing refers to taking in information and using our background information, past knowledge, past experiences that we've had to make sense of the information. Bottom-up processing is more about processing as we go, as we're sensing our own sensations and feelings. So it's more associated with things like intuition and gut feeling, because that is, as we're feeling, we're processing and detecting, I feel safe, I don't feel safe, right? And bottom and top down processing is more about looking at the information and determining, based on everything that I know, here's what I think about this situation. Now, one of the advantages of bottom up processing is that you know what your sensations are, and nobody can tell you you're not feeling what you're feeling. So it's harder to be gaslit out of your own sensations when you are a strong bottom up processor. A disadvantage of bottom up processing for some people is that certain people don't have the ability to really interocept properly, or they're not as attuned to their own sensations, bodily sensations. And I don't know if this is something that applies to you, but for a long time, bottom up processing was not something that I really cultivated. I didn't even know it was a thing to cultivate, So it's been the last 3 to 4 years that I've been able to really cultivate it. And I had a really hard time knowing when I was exhausted, when I was hungry, when I was feeling hot. It wasn't until it was like I'm burning up that I realized what I was feeling, because I was just very out of tune with my own body. Now, with top-down processing, an advantage of it is that we have, especially with the internet age, right? We have a vast amount of information at our disposal. So we're able to make informed decisions based on the information that we're able to find, if it's reputable, etc. Of course, a drawback of that is that sometimes there's information out there that isn't credible information, and if we take it in and we make decisions based on that kind of information, then it's going to lead us down the wrong path. Top-down information also, top-down processing also is not going to be as beneficial for people who are inexperienced in a particular area, or for children. They just don't have enough life experience and schema to be able to draw on that and make those kinds of decisions, right? And then the other disadvantage of top-down processing is that this is where we can be gaslit, right? Where people can try to gaslight us out of our own conclusions, because they're able to poke holes in our argument. And I think this is one particularly important reason why it's so important to wed top-down processing with bottom-up processing, because you know what you feel and you know what you know. Okay, both of those things are important. So an example of putting this together might be something like this. You meet somebody, that person, and you tend to have some kind of chemistry. You want to meet and talk, and you start exchanging information and messages and calling and things like that. But you start feeling a little strange because this person's coming on really strong. Like within 3 weeks, they're like, I want to marry you, And you're like, whoa, hold on, this is a little sudden, and you're feeling a little uncomfortable with how rushed it is, okay? Now, if with the bottom up processing, what that would do would be like that feeling of discomfort. That would be your bottom up processing, and it's telling you, whoa, hold on, this doesn't feel right. Now, what the top down processing might be is if you've read that relationships that go so fast, that are whirlwind in that way, can have some red flags in them. Now you're combining those two pieces of information together, and you're able to make a better decision. Now, let's say that top-down processing told you this, right? But your bottom-up doesn't give you any red flags, or the other way around. Your bottom-up processing gives you information, but you haven't read anything about it. Anytime there's a mismatch there, I think what that really indicates to us is a good time to pause. Don't rush into anything. You know, just take it slow and give your body and your mind time to catch up with the information so you can make a better decision. All right. And so this is how we're able to keep in alignment with what our body is telling us and with what our mind is dictating as well.